We have some breaking news. The Washington Wizards have just made a surprising trade as they have just acquired a very interesting guard and have traded Cam Whitmore away while also acquiring some draft capital. We'll break down the surprising trade and discuss what it means going forward as out of nowhere, Will Dawkins drops a bomb. We'll break that down. And some other updates that continue to drop, including DeMar DeRozan, a massive update on his front, folks. A big news dump late on this Wednesday evening. But before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, a large percentage of you who are watching right now aren't subscribed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. 81% of you who are watching right now aren't subscribed. Help us hit 1,000 subscribers. We're very, very close, less than 200 subscribers away. Around 170, 180 away. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're also close to 850 subscribers. Folks, out of nowhere, Shams dropped a huge tweet. And I don't know, initially, me being a Wizards fan, diehard Wizards fan, I'm thinking, okay, not a huge impact on the Wizards directly because the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Denver Nuggets, and the LA Clippers have agreed on a trade that sent Peyton Watson to the Cavs, Max Strus to LA, and some draft capital to the Nuggets. Peyton Watson ultimately signed a deal with the Cavs. But then there was a bit of a waiting period. And then right here, Shams drop once again. As part of this deal, the Cavs are sending Tre Mann, the 2027 second rounder from the Clippers, and cash to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Cam Whitmore and ultimately Julian Reese. Mann fills a positional need as the Wizards have searched for an additional guard in recent weeks, while the Cavaliers gain a smaller salary in Whitmore to create an opportunity under the first apron. So there's a lot to dissect here. Do I love the trade? I'm not entirely sure yet, and this is obviously an immediate reaction. I definitely don't hate the move. So basically, just to give you guys kind of the full breakdown here, because there's a lot of writing, the Clippers get Max Strus and Cam Whitmore. Actually, the Cavs technically, I believe, get Cam Whitmore. There's a bunch of weird stuff going on, but regardless of that, the Wizards are acquiring a second-round pick, and the second-round pick is from Philadelphia as well, for those interested. And here it is for Brett Siegel. So the Wizards get Tre Mann and a second-round pick from Philadelphia. The Cavs get Cam Whitmore. So there's a bunch of misinformation about who gets Cam Whitmore. That doesn't matter for the sake of this specific video because we're Wizards fans. The Wizards, in exchange for Cam Whitmore, get Tre Mann and a second-round pick. So Tre Mann, very, I don't want to say polarizing name. People call him AI, Allen Iverson V2, obviously jokingly. But I don't actually hate the fit here. And Shams made an interesting point in the initial tweet. It is about getting an additional guard. And clearly, according to Shams, they've been searching for an additional guard in recent weeks anyway. And let's dive into his stats last year. There is some encouraging stuff surrounding Tre Young, I think. Tre Mann, two Treys on the team. But there's also some, I don't want to call it, scary, potential stuff here. But let's dive into it, right? Tre Mann last year, 5 points a game. You might be looking at this and you're probably thinking, okay, Nick, that isn't a great, guard. He does have some upside though, because he is just a couple years removed from averaging. You can see there in 2024, he averaged 14 points a game for the Hornets in only 24 minutes, albeit a fairly small sample size. I actually think he could be a bit of a spark plug off of the bench and provide some extra scoring. Now, he is only going to be 25 years old, so he kind of fits along that quote unquote young core that the Wizards are building around. And, where does he fit exactly? I don't know yet necessarily, but there was times in 53 games last year where he was a spark plug off the bench, shot 32% from three, wasn't fantastic in that front. But again, he's shown ability in the past to be, I don't want to say Jordan Clarkson type because he is a point guard, but he is an interesting scorer. Now, some Wizards fans are actually excited about this. Some are upset. So you can see here, not happy about this one. Whitmore still has potential. Julian Reese worked hard. We'll dive into Julian Reese in a minute. It does sting a little bit. Cam Whitmore for Tre Mann, I think that's fine. I think Tre Mann has an easier path because of his facilitating quote unquote abilities. And let's also have a look at here, the current rotation. You have Trae Young and Tre Mann. So Tre Mann, does he factor ahead of Bub Carrington as the backup point guard? Maybe, maybe not, but it gives you some more depth at that point guard spot. Now, obviously, Cam Whitmore also can play the 1 and the 2, but he was going to be, clearly, I don't think the team had a ton of faith in Cam Whitmore, right? I think that's kind of where it was. We were covering that in the channel a bunch. And you can even see here from Greg Finberg, Tre Mann is a 25-year-old shooting guard. Now, they qualify him as a shooting guard. You can put him at point guard, wherever you want to put him, who averaged 5.5 points on 32.3% three-point shooting last year. He's a combo guard. The 6'4" guard is owed $8 million during next season, and then an $8 million team option, which gives the Wizards another guard depth option. And the interesting thing about this is they do have a team option. So if he comes out next year and balls and average, 10, 12 points a game, you have the option of picking up that $8 million, which I don't hate that, truthfully, if it goes that way. Now, do I think that's super likely? Not necessarily. However, there is possibilities. You can see here, Tre Mann stats 2025, where he averaged 14 points a game in 24 minutes. Tre, please save my Wizards. So, it could be an exciting move. It could be one where I'm not going to say it backfires, because you also keep in mind, second round capital. So you get the Sixers, which is probably not going to be great. Sixers are amazing, or in theory, amazing on paper. You get their 2027 second round pick. You also, of course, if you look at how it opens up roster spots and where they currently stand with the roster spot, their roster remains at 14 and 15 standard contracts, but now has an open two-way spot after this trade, with Dawkins and Okpara being the two-way guys at the moment. So you obviously get 3 two-way spots with Tre Young, Johnson, Carrington, Mann. So obviously Greg Finberg has Mann all the way down to 4. You have Keyshawn, George, the 2 spot. You have Tre Johnson. So comment down below. Are you excited by the move? Are you whelmed by the move? Something else to keep in mind is Julian Reese is gone. He, very short sample size last year, but looked pretty darn good. And he was waived, I believe, immediately by the Nuggets. So there's a reason they did this. Who knows? I mean, more moves are certainly coming for this team. Who knows who's a good... there's going to be a two-way spot. There's going to be still another roster spot to fill. And I know a lot of people are talking about how that could be and maybe should be DeMar DeRozan. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So Chris Haynes reported that the Denver Nuggets are pivoting and have their eyes directed on 6-time All-Star DeMar DeRozan, who remains a free agent in demand for contenders. League sources tell me. That was followed up minutes ago by Brett Siegel, basically coming out and saying that it's all but confirmed he's going to sign with the Denver Nuggets now. So that option is off the board, even though there was a lot of reports about the Wizards being specifically interested in DeMar. But what does that mean now? It means you got some roster spots to work with, ladies and gentlemen, and you got Tre Mann. I'm actually kind of excited to see what Tre Mann can do. There's tweets going around. He was rocking he's kind of a beast, actually. He was rocking a Michael Jordan Bullets jersey just a couple years ago in 2024 courtside. So maybe we'll hear some good things about it. But again, you have a two-way spot open. You have a standard contract spot open. We're going to have to see where they go. Do they go with a big man behind Sarr, Ayton, and Vukcevic? Do they, double down on a guard? Do they go with a power forward spot? Your power forwards are kind of Mickey Mouse. Obviously Champagne, but like Chris Middleton, do you want to play him at the Mickey Mouse 4? Maybe you sign him to that contract. A lot of ifs, but now one of your big men are gone in Julian Reese. So your power forward that, some people had high expectations, some people didn't. He's gone. DeMar DeRozan is off the board. What is next? There is a lot of potential here for this team to continue to make moves, but man, what a bombshell this Wednesday evening. And otherwise, a very light return for the Nuggets. I don't know what they're doing going for them. They got a good pick, but going for a first-round pick unprotected years down the road when you have and are potentially, you're building around / contending with Nikola Jokic in the middle of his prime. Why are you trading, pieces like Peyton Watson, arguably your third best player, for a draft pick? I don't know, but we're Wizards fans, so we ride with it. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.